Hi everybody and welcome back to Lean English. In today's video I'm going to be discussing which is the best English accent to learn, because I receive a lot of messages and I see lots of comments from people asking which pronunciation should they study. So in this video I'm going to give you some advice and guidance to help you choose the best one for you. So which is the best English accent to learn? Well, it really depends on your personal circumstances and your aims. For example, if you plan to travel to lots of different countries, or if you plan to work in a multicultural environment in the future, then I recommend you learn a standard English accent. So what do I mean by standard English accent? A standard accent is something like received pronunciation, which is the standard British accent, or general American, which is the standard American accent, or a third option is general Australian, which is the standard Australian accent. These are the accents which are taught in schools all over the world. Received pronunciation is usually taught in most of Europe, Africa and Asia, whereas general American is usually taught in the Americas. And general Australian may be taught in the southeast of Asia. These are the accents which are taught in schools over the world, and consequently they're the accents which are most likely to be understood. So if you speak to someone with a received pronunciation accent, you're far more likely to be understood than if you speak to them with a Scottish accent, for example. Don't worry too much about which standard accent you learn, because to be honest, they're all pretty similar. It's likely that if you studied English at school, you probably didn't have much choice about the type of pronunciation or the accent. You probably learned either British English, received pronunciation, or American English. However, these accents are pretty similar and it's quite easy to adapt one accent if necessary. So for example, if you studied British English, but in the future you go to live and work in the United States, it's quite easy to adapt British English pronunciation to American English, simply by pronouncing the letter R all the time and voicing the T sound between vowels. If you do that, then a word like butter becomes butter, which immediately sounds a lot more American. And these small changes are pretty easy and they can help you to fit in more with your surroundings. There are some exceptions, of course. There are some situations where you might want to learn a less common accent, more of a regional accent. For example, if you marry someone and you go to live in their country for the rest of your life, then it may be a good idea to learn the local dialect. If you learn to pronounce some words according to the local dialect, if you learn some of the local slang expressions, then it will really endear you to the local community. People will be proud that you're learning their local dialect, and it can really help you to integrate with your local community. So if you plan to live in an English-speaking city or country for a long period of time, then it may be a good idea to learn the local dialect instead. Finally, if you're just learning English as a hobby and you have no plans to live or work or travel to other countries, then you can learn whichever accent you prefer. You can learn an obscure one or a really uncommon one. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. There is just one thing you should be aware of. Unfortunately, prejudices do exist in every language. There are some accents which are considered better or worse than others. And unfortunately, it's exactly the same in English. So, for example, the Birmingham or Brummie accent frequently ranks as one of the least attractive English accents in the British Isles, whereas the Irish accent, the Southern Irish accent, frequently ranks as one of the most attractive accents in the British Isles. So it's just something to be aware of when you are choosing one of these less common regional accents. To summarize, I recommend you choose a standard accent, such as received pronunciation or general American, and avoid regional accents unless you have very strong personal reasons for choosing one of them. Remember that it's not necessary to speak with a perfect accent. The most important thing is that you speak clearly and that you can be understood. However, if you do have a strong accent and some people find you difficult to understand, remember that I have an online British English pronunciation course which can help you to reduce your accent and speak more clearly. You can find more details and a link in the description below. Well, that's the end of the lesson. But let me know which accent you're learning in the comments below, and remember to like and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.